Now I'm going to talk a little bit about illnesses and what they actually are, or accidents, or anything that ends up killing you. What is it? If everything we know to be true is actually false, then what illness actually is not really what we know it to be. Just about every illness that you deal with is a problem that wants a solution. The way our medical community is working right now is to prevent you from experiencing the solution. They give you blockers. If you're in pain, they give you painkillers. Um, Anybody that has any kind of addiction has a great deal of pain in their life. A lot of people do drugs and alcohol because they want to have fun. And so alcohol and drugs gives you the feeling of fun because the addiction wants you to have fun, but you don't have the information on how to have fun in a healthy way. Cancer, if you understand what cancer is, science has proven that it's a cell that dies. Just a cell that chooses to die. And then that dead cell, even though it's dead, can still communicate. And it influences all other cells around it to, hey, join my bandwagon and die too. And that's how cancer gets spread, by spreading the information. Hey, this human doesn't want to listen to me, I may as well die. Now, a lot of people in the Gulf are going to end up getting some form of cancer, and the form of cancer that it gets, the system that it will affect, is just a roadmap to what they lack, what type of understanding they're lacking in their life. More than likely, the majority of people that are going to die from this experience, or not necessarily die, but the types of cancer that they will be learning from will be very, very similar. Um, think for a minute. Does the heart ever get cancer? Do some research. I've never heard of anybody getting heart cancer, because heart is the will to live. You can only attack heart or stroke. You can only do harm to love by beating it down so it gives up. But cancer is, if you're not going to do something right, then I will just choose to die. Your body is nothing but a system that's trying to communicate with your subconscious. Your conscious actions. I go out and intentionally go and do this act, unaware of your subconscious. Your conscious actions will go against your subconscious knowing. So that's why we need to be consciously aware of our subconscious mind and start listening to our subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is controlling everything. Um, there's been more than enough information out there that's saying there's nothing but poison out there. There's more than enough evidence that there is nobody coming out there to save you. There's more than enough information that says this is intentionally done to you. There's more than enough information that says get the hell out of that area. Very few are choosing to move. The majority want to stay there, despite it. I mean, there are people that are filming and presenting information on how poisonous, how toxic those beaches are. I mean, they're filming and saying, look at these parents let their kids swim in these waters knowing that these waters are poison. And yet the guy holding the camera, who knows how toxic that is, knows perfectly well that those toxins are in the air, and just him standing on that beach is going to kill him because he's not listening to his systems. He's not listening to his subconscious mind that says this is not safe. So they'll all end up getting cancer. But through heart, you have to communicate with these dead cells and find out what these dead cells want. They want something. It's a problem. They're looking for a solution. They're trying to communicate with you, but you don't want to communicate with it. But through heart, through love, but love of self, then you can cure your cancers. If you communicate with it and find out what it is that it wants. I can't tell you what it wants because it's all self. For a good part, a lot of people choose to die because the world feels really cruel. In my personal experience, just the hell that I've gone through that experience. It was so much easier to just say I'd rather die than have this experience because the world is so friggin' cruel. Who the hell wants to live here? And then to find the sciences that say you can live forever, eternal life. Who the hell wants to live an eternal life in this type of experience, in this global experience where nobody gives a shit about anybody? So it's a lot easier to just choose to die, especially if an entire globe or the majority of the globe gets sick from this, because this is going in the air, it's going in the airstreams. The people that are going to get affected is all of the eastern states all the way up to Canada. Those winds carry all of those toxins, which are extremely high. They've done some independent testing, and this is too poisonous for animals. The air is too poisonous for even humans to be breathing. And you don't have to be on the coast to be breathing that air. You could be in New York right now and breathe in toxins that will get you cancer. So how many of those people are going to even have the will to live, knowing how evil is strong enough to kill a friggin' planet, and God doesn't show up? Has God ever showed up for a child that's being sexually abused? Has God ever showed up to those countries living in poverty? Has God ever showed up for those monks who meditate day in and day out? We are losing our faith in God because he simply hasn't ever showed up. But God is within us. We are that God aspect. And God is forgiving, for they know not what they are doing. But you have to have the will to live. You have to have love for self. And you have to have love for your community. You have to have love for your world, for your globe, in order to experience that unconditional love sensation, which has the opportunity to, get that will to live from those cells that want to die. That's how cancer can spontaneously heal itself, is you refuse it to be there, you listen to what it wants, and you unfold the solution. And we have to realize that when you are doing good, others will do good. And this can definitely impact an entire planet. An entire planet can all of a sudden have this massive experience of unconditional love. And once you have that feeling, that vibration of so much love on the planet, it can cure everything. It's so friggin' wild. I don't know if anybody's really ready to hear it. But you have to have that will to live. You have to have that that sensation, that knowing that you make a difference. and by example you can convince others, and that grows just as fast as evil. God helps those who helps themselves, because that's where God is in ourselves. Hope that makes some sense to some people.